You keep getting up every single time.
No,
Right after the reaction.
I was just stretching.
You do this.
I was stretching.
I don't know if you remember how the last after the reaction started. It was you predicting that I'm higher than you because of my shoes.
Did it really?
Yeah, do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
That's great.
Each of these after the reactions are going to start with you doing something fucking dumb.
It'll probably take me a solid 4 months to finally not get up right after.
Yeah, just to kind of smoothly go into it. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of nervous to do a rewatch reaction.
Me too. Yeah, I get that.
Because obviously I don't know how the audience is going to receive this. Mm-hmm. Because I also understand if people would rather see a first time watching Die Hard reaction.
Which, and to clarify, we will still prioritize those, but it's just the holiday season. We chose this one because we've seen a lot of the big holiday movies, and we were like, it'd be fun to just get everyone together and just watch it, because I think people like that from us as it is.
Yeah, because our way of thinking was just we've seen all the big Christmas movies, and we were like, we could do another. I know there are a lot of other Christmas movies out there, and maybe we'll do them in the future. But this month we were just like, man, let's just watch the classics with our audience. And I think that'll be fun, and we'll see. This could be a good test to see how people receive this. But like you said, I think the number one priority in the future is still to do first time watchings. I don't want to get away from that, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot more movies left. Don't worry, that Chris and I haven't seen.
100%.
But yeah, Die Hard isn't, as much as I was yelling and screaming that it's obviously a Christmas movie, it isn't a Christmas tradition for me. Mm-hmm. For me, it's mostly Home Alone and Elf.
Those are the two classics for sure. Well, Elf, I thought you didn't watch a whole lot growing up. Really? Was it Elf?
I saw you know what? I saw Elf as a kid a lot.
Okay.
But as an adult, I stopped. But Home Alone, without a doubt, every Christmas I watch.
Yeah.
Home Alone, I think I've never missed a Christmas without Home Alone.
I think same here.
But Die Hard, is it the same for you? Is that
recently? I'm not saying I've been doing it for 10 years or anything. We're probably the past 4 years I do it.
Did your dad show you Die Hard?
No. I don't remember how I watched it on my own. Did I watch it when I was going to school? Did I watch it when I was younger? I honestly don't remember. If I had to guess, probably when I was going to school.
Because I think my dad showed me Die Hard, and I just bring that up because I'm it's so dad.
It's such a perfect dad movie.
I know, and it's probably cliche to say that, but it's also a perfect dad movie to show his kid.
Yeah.
To just show his son to be okay, now this is great.
Yeah, dude. I've seen this so many times now where, I still feel the tension.
Yeah.
The two critical scenes when I still feel the tension are the vent scene, when he's crawling through and trying to use the strap to slide through the vents and shit.
Yeah.
And then also the stunt when he flies out of or when he jumps off the building and uses the hose to swing into the window.
That's just one of the great action set pieces, and I because I don't watch it every year, I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
And so good. The scene that really stressed me out this time was even though I've seen it before and I remembered it too, but the whole strap with the rifle, and him trying to make it to the other side, very telling this movie that the scenes in this movie are so iconic that you can't escape them, but still this movie's just as gripping. It hasn't lost its flavor.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you said you haven't seen the sequels, right?
No, and
none of them.
I have not.
Okay,
and maybe I know 2 and 3 are pretty popular, and if people are interested, I'd be down to do 2 and 3 on our channel.
That could be fun.
So if people are really wanting that, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I think the second one's called just Die Hard 2, but I think the tagline is Die Harder. That's
good, and that's pretty good. Yeah. I'm a big fan of. I do people know that I'm a big fan of poster taglines?
I don't think you really put it out there. No, this dude's a huge fan of. Yeah, poster taglines. You read them off to me. There's a period where you were sitting over and you were just hey, I found a list.
Yeah, it's huge. I feel it's not a lost art because you'll still find some good ones, but whenever I see a good poster tagline, I'll zero in on it. It's one of my favorite things, and older movies definitely prioritize them. I think one of the best ones is Lethal Weapon 2's tagline.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell it to him.
The magic is back. It's what better tagline could you have? Another good one is Alien versus Predator.
Okay.
Whoever wins, we lose.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I think that's it. I might be butchering it. And The Thing has multiple ones, but the one that's the famous one is Man is the Warmest Place to Hide.
Yeah, that one's amazing. That one's awesome. And then, of course, there's the classic Alien in space. No one can hear you scream, you know?
Hell yeah. I was repeating this throughout the whole reaction, but I just couldn't believe how each principal character had their moment, and so many of them had their small arcs, or like their character was like developed. It didn't feel like... I remember Bill Hader talked about it. He said that like my favorite movies and my favorite TV shows are the ones where like small characters, you feel like, okay, they have a life outside of this movie.
Yeah, and that's very hard to pull off, right? I mean, like, I think this is another obvious one, but Breaking Bad does that really well.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But you know, when the world feels very lived in.
100%.
Game of Thrones, I mean, just fucking just annihilates with that concept.
Because they didn't have to have the reporter bit, but the reporter bit is so smart, and the fact that they use it to tie into the final tension.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is everything ties back to the A story at the end. All the B stories tie back.
The moment that really blew my mind was just like, you asked for a miracle, Theo. I give you the FBI. And I was like, that's just genius writing.
Yeah.
To figure out the math and like, we'll wait for the FBI. The FBI shuts off the grid. They'll give us access to the fourth lock. And also to have the audience understand now, okay, there's like 4 locks, and they like to have them like know that.
Yeah, their plan was, I think, because like we're so conditioned for either terrorist bad guys, bank robber bad guys, and so by having their agenda not be super clear to the audience makes them that much more dangerous and unpredictable, because you don't know what their next move is. Because if they're robbing the place, you would just be, okay, cool, they're just trying to get into the vault. The end, to stop them from getting the vault. But the fact that they're also trying to blow up the building at the same time while asking the FBI to free prisoners, you don't know what they're like doing.
But I would argue that you're never fully confused. So the reason I brought up like the fact that we know the 4 locks are there so important is like the audience understands the plan as much as John McClane understands the
plan. It's done in a way that, yeah, it's simple still. Like, you know, where they're just trying to get into the vault. You know, okay, they're trying to get money.
But then there's also always like one more thing. They're like, what are those bombs?
Again, yeah, why they're blowing up the building. Because the reason what makes it effective is because it affects the hostages, and it affects Holly, too. Yeah. What their next move is. You don't know what they're going to do with the hostages and how it's going to affect everyone else.
Yeah, and like, speaking of Holly, the emotional core of this movie is so strong. I think that's kind of what makes it stand the test of time outside of everything.
That's what makes John McClane a compelling protagonist, too. If he didn't have that extra layer of like, of something personal to him in that plaza, if it's not just a badass cowboy saving everyone, it wouldn't work.
You know, this is like a great example if like an alien came down to Earth and you wanted to give that alien the perfect example of like an American blockbuster.
Yeah.
I think the 2 movies you could give are Die Hard and Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? I was like, this is what we're capable of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Star Wars, you could argue too.
100%. And it just feels like when I look at Die Hard, I'm like, this is what we've been copying.
Yeah.
This is it.
Oh, yeah,
At least for the modern era. I know there are movies that have come before and inspired it, but I mean, like, for the modern era of action filmmaking, we're still chasing this movie.
Oh, yeah. People still say, yeah, Die Hard in space, or Die Hard on a bus, or Die Hard in X, you know?
Yeah, and, like, I mean, speaking of Jurassic Park and Spielberg, Jaws was that, too. Jaws in space, Jaws in this, or Jaws in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jaws became the template for horror movies, typically. You know?
Yeah, and Die Hard became the template for action movies.
Exactly.
There's really nothing better out there.
Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, it's probably my favorite action movie of all time if I had to pick.
Really,
I think so, yeah, because, you know, you and I kind of differ in some ways, because I think you, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but you're much more drawn to spectacle than I am.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And I love spectacle. You know, you can watch our Blade reaction. You know, I get just as pumped as, you know, the next guy. But you get more into that stuff than I do. That's, I think, you know, you love the Fast and Furious franchise and stuff like that.
100%. I think I like both, but I think, I do like the dumb fun more than you do.
And again, just to really clarify, that's not like me looking down or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, there needs to be something more. Totally understandable. And I think, like, for me, it's easy to categorize, right? So I can look at something like Fast 5, which I actually genuinely think is like one of the great action movies.
Sure. I'd like to see that one.
Like, outside of the campiness and the whole family meme, like, outside of that, I think Fast 5 is good. But, like, if you look at the Fast and Furious movies, I look at them, I put them in a different category, where it's like, okay, this is like heightened campy fun for me. But I can look at Die Hard as like, this is what this is actually a well-made, good action movie with great writing. That's what this looks like.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can put those in separate camps, and that's okay.
Totally.
So that's kind of how I look at them.
Yeah, I think I get that way with comedies.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Sometimes.
Like how so?
Like, because there are some dumb comedies that I just really like, too. You know, that I'll have once in a while a random pull from, like, a comedy movie that I've seen.
Speaking of, like, the holidays, Jingle All the Way is a big example.
I, like, get so happy when I do
Every
Jingle All
time
the Way.
I mention Jingle All the Way to
dude,
him,
that movie's so fire.
he gets so excited. Like, he laughs immediately.
I don't know what it is.
It's like a Pavlovian response to you now, that movie.
Yeah, I just immediately get all giddy. No, I think... For me, it's like just something, the mental image of Arnold Schwarzenegger like running around looking for a doll.
Or him in the Turbo Man suit.
Well, then eventually him in the suit, yeah, just going flying everywhere.
Is that the Arnold movie you've seen the most?
Probably. I'm ashamed to say. If I had to pick one, probably that one.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, this is a separate line of conversation in general, but we're here now. My favorite scene in Jingle All the Way will always be the conversation when he's on the phone with Ted.
Oh, put the cookie down.
Yeah, put that cookie down now.
Yeah. Well, that's the classic. Yeah.
But even like the build up to it, just like the way that I forgot. Yeah, Ted, how he's like the neighbor that's like kind of trying to cuck him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, your wife's cookies are out of this world, Howard.
Also, that neighbor, wouldn't he be terrified to go against Howard, who looks like that?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I know.
I don't know. That guy's cocky as hell.
Anyway, though, back to Die Hard. Yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean, like, so... Die Hard 2, I heard, is alright. A lot of people, like, love Die Hard 3.
Yeah, it's the second one's in an airport, right? Or is that the third one?
Yeah. Second one's in the airport, and I heard the third one's in New York.
Okay.
So, like, New York cop, he's actually in New York.
He's in his stomping grounds.
So, I do want to check out the sequels, whether it's on his channel or just by myself. We'll see. But, yeah. I mean, I just, every time I watch this, we watch Fifth Element.
Yeah, I know.
Or just any old Bruce Willis movie. It just kind of reminds you of, like, the guy's heyday, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I've only seen... I've seen the first Die Hard and I've seen the fourth Die Hard. Live Free or Die Hard is what it's called.
Right.
I don't remember it very well. I want to say people like it, but I could be wrong. I know it was PG-13. That was the big thing people were like upset about.
Which is a weird move.
It is a strange movie. Yeah, the action is still as over the top as ever. It's just cars flipping and just all sorts of explosions. The budget is just crazy on that movie.
Yeah.
But I want to say also the villain is like a cyber dude. He's played by oh man, Timothy Oliphant. He's the villain of the fourth Die Hard movie.
Okay. That's weird.
And he's like a cyber criminal or something like that. It's like something a little different, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I just remember that. Then the fifth one is A Good Day to Die Hard.
Right.
Where it's in Russia. And apparently that movie's awful.
I have never heard good things about Live Free to Die Hard too either.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, Live Free. I was gonna say I saw that when I was like 12 or something, so I really don't remember Live Free to Die Hard.
Yeah.
But the fifth one, I remember everyone hated. Like that's like the worst rated one. That's the one that.
Well, yeah, the franchise has had diminishing returns.
Yeah. But first one will always be a classic, though.
Of course. I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah. You're not giving a hot take here.
Yeah,
it's 100% a classic. Yeah.
Yo, here's my thing. The first one's the best one.
Yeah, this is what I think. Yeah. Also, I know before we get to the end of this, I just want to address this dope fucking hoodie.
Yeah, man.
I like the fact that in the reaction I didn't really call attention to it at all, and then I put it down after a while. But I want this to be a kind of a Christmas tradition, you know?
Yeah, if you guys will accept it, Altaf would like to wear this every holiday season.
Because I wore this in our It's a Wonderful Life reaction last year. That's where we got it.
Yeah, where you also didn't address it, where you just sort of wore it.
Yeah, I thought after reaction could be a fun place to it. Like finally thought about it, but like. When we were sitting down to do this one, I was like, I should put it on again. And then when I put it on again, I'm like, I love this so much.
Is it like comfortable? Do you just like the way it makes you feel?
Both.
Fair enough, man. That's a good quality.
Yeah.
I know. Like, no, I'm never taking this off for all of December.
I know. Thank you guys so much for watching our after reaction. As always, we really appreciate the comments. You guys give a lot of love to these videos, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hope y'all are having a good holiday. Stay nice, dudes.